I'm Alicia Allen. I'm a teacher here at Springboard Pilates, and this is Phelan, our trainee. And we are going to take you through some of the fundamental movements today. The fundamentals are great if you are looking to just kind of do something really quick that integrates your whole body, or if you feel like you need a little extra concentration before you start your workout. So, you'll start lying down on your mat with your knees bent and your feet resting on the floor. And you just start by scanning down your body and noticing what feels tight, what feels achy, what's meeting the mat readily and what is not. And you just kind of take a little mental picture. And then we start with breathing. So for breathing, you're going to begin by inhaling through your nose. Your mouth will be closed. And you're going to try to expand your lungs in all directions. So as you inhale, you want to feel your ribs start to inflate in the front and the back, as well as the sides. So you're trying to think of like filling a balloon with air the whole way around. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring all of that air out of your mouth gently, feeling the belly kind of contract around itself. And then you inhale again, trying to fill up any areas that didn't quite get full of air. Good. And then you exhale. Good. Feeling that nice cinching of the belly. And again, and with each breath, you just want to notice, where does the breath flow readily and where is it hard to get it into? And those places where it's harder to get breath into, you want to try to send more air there. Good. So you can do about 5 breaths. A little bit more if you're feeling like you really need it. Feeling the fullness of that balloon filling up with each inhale and the coarsening of the transverse abdominal muscle as you exhale. Good. And so next, we're going to move on to our Pilates scoop. So you're going to take your nice big 3-dimensional inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw your abdominal muscles away from your pubic bone and up towards your spine and sort of hook them underneath your rib cage. So I often visualize my belly button getting hooked up under my rib cage. And then with another inhale, you expand, and exhale, you try and hook the belly button back under the rib cage. And you might start to notice that the abdominal muscles feel like they're stretching and kind of forming a natural hollow scoop between your rib cage and your pelvis. So you can do this a few times until you feel like you've really found that connection of the abdominal muscles from the pubic bone up to the rib cage, scooping in and up. Good. And so next, we're going to take our breath and our our breath and our Pilates scoop into some knee folds. So you'll bring your knees into tabletop, which is thighs 90 degrees and then shins 90 degrees. So you're forming a little right angle here. And you're taking a nice big 3-dimensional inhale. Your palms press into the mat. And then as you exhale, you find that scoop, connecting the legs up into you. And then you inhale and you start to send the legs away. And then you stop when you feel like you can't hang on to them with the belly anymore. And you exhale, drawing the legs back up towards your chest. Good. Inhale. And exhale, draw the legs in. So here we're trying to teach the body that the abdominals are part of moving the legs. They don't just move at the hip joint, but you actually have to use muscular motion further up in the trunk to lift them and lower them. And so you can do 5 of these. Good. Inhaling fully, keep remembering that you're breathing 3-dimensionally and trying to use the scoop. And then we go on to single leg knee folds. So one leg will stay where it is as the other leg travels down towards the mat, again, only as far as you can hang on to it with the abdominals, and then you switch legs. Inhaling fully as the leg goes down and exhaling as it comes up. And so as you start to feel what it feels like to add a little bit of asymmetrical movement into this, you can start to move a little bit quicker as long as you're hanging on to it with the abdominals and still breathing fully. Good. 5 sets of this is kind of a good place to land. You could do more if you're feeling like you just really love the way this feels. It is nice and connected. Good. And then when you're even, you come to rest. And we'll move on to knee sways. So for knee sways, you set your feet down on the mat and you have just the balls of the feet connecting into the mat. The heels are slightly lifted and the palms are still pressing down on the mat. You press the legs together so that everything from the big toe joints up to the inner thighs feels nice and connected. And with an inhale, you're going to send the legs over to the right side of the room, lifting the hip and going only as far as you can hang on to this with the abdominals. And then you exhale and you come back to center. And inhale to the left side. And then you exhale, scoop the belly and come back to center. Good. Inhale. So here we're working with some abdominal twisting and rotation of the spine. You may be able to go not very far with this one or very far. It depends on your particular range of movement, but what you're looking for is that your knees stay together and nice and aligned so that you're not shifting the pelvis, but you're actually twisting the spine. Good. And again, 5 sets of this is good. Anywhere from 3 to 5, really. Good, and then you come back to resting. So now we'll move on to our upper bodies with ribcage arms. So you'll take your arms up towards the ceiling, your feet stay on the mat, you're just nice and relaxed, and palms facing each other. You're going to inhale and start to bring the arms overhead, noticing what feels tight, stopping before you feel your ribs lift up off the mat, and then exhale, knits the ribs together, gets you in touch with that abdominal scoop, and brings the arms back to the center. So you inhale and the arms go back, and exhale, come back to center. So here we're doing a couple of things. We're finding your range of motion. Where can you lift your arms from your trunk without popping the rib cage off of the mat, which is going to bring your back into it in a way that's not necessarily productive. And we're also kind of starting to feel what the range of the shoulder blade is. So you'll feel your shoulder blade moving down your back and coming back up the back. So inhaling 3-dimensionally, keep inhaling backwards, forwards, and sideways, and exhaling, emptying it all out, finding that corseting around the belly to support the spine. Last time. Good, and then exhale. Nice. So we do 5 of those, and then we go on to the upper ab curl. This is our last fundamental for today. So for the upper ab curl, you can take your hands behind your head, right under the occiput, which is that little almost shelf-feeling part of the back of the skull. And your elbows are a little bit high, and you're just sort of cradling your head. You're going to inhale deeply and find your Pilates scoop, and then take an exhale, and you're going to lift your upper body off the mat, kind of like a wave a little bit. So you're curling up. Good. So just until the tips of the shoulder blades are resting on the mat, and then take an inhale, scoop deeper, and then exhale, lower yourself back down to the mat. Beautiful, Phelan. And so we inhale, and then exhale scoops you, that curls you up, and the inhale lengthens you so that as you exhale, you have even more space as you come down. Good. 5 of these total. If they're done well, you should feel those 5. Good. So you want to keep connecting to the breath here, because the breath is going to connect you to the abdominal muscles, and this is what helps us to learn not to use our necks to lift our heads, but that it actually comes deeper in from the trunk. Good. And that's that. Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.